I remember first starting YouTube and uploading my first video with the craziest hopes. I posted a 21 Savage x Southside type beat, and I thought this video might blow up. Like, I thought a big artist or producer might see this. This might bring me my first beat sale. None of those happened. In fact, for the next 60 videos that I posted, none of them even broke over 200 views. I remember feeling like growing on YouTube was a lost cause. I just didn't know what I was doing wrong. I was spending so much time making these videos and was pretty much getting nothing back in return. I thought only real YouTubers could find success, and maybe this just wasn't a thing for producers. What's that, younger self? What's that, younger self? Shut your bitch ass up. We got the plaque. Thank you guys. Finding success on YouTube as a producer is possible. So in today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys how to grow and succeed on YouTube. I'm going to be going over 5 of the most important lessons that I've learned over this journey, including crucial mistakes that you guys should avoid. And I'm going to be answering some of your questions toward the end of this video. So let's get into it. So the first thing you need to understand is that growth is never linear on YouTube. When I first started off, I thought that all I needed was one good video. And once I have this one good video, then it's just up from there. When it comes to YouTube, you have to think of it in a long-term game. You have to expect plateaus. There's going to be times where you're working your hardest and you're just not growing. Or you'll be like stuck in this bracket of a certain amount of views and you feel like you just can't get past it. Like you don't know what it is, but you just can't get past it. In fact, to show this, take a look at my lifetime analytics on YouTube. We have 2019 when I started off. A year and a half later, I got absolutely nothing, no views. And then I started to get some traction finally, and look at all the ups and downs throughout here. We're going up and then we're going down, up, down, big peak here. I don't know what the hell that was, but then down once again, and then coming up towards the end here. The point being, there's going to be so many fluctuations with your growth on YouTube. So it's important to not see this and then base that on your success. Look at your growth on the long term of things. Instead of looking at a video and basing your success on if this video does well or not, look at your personal growth over the journey of your YouTube so far. Has your consistency improved? What about the quality of your videos? How is your speaking or your articulation? How well are you at explaining certain things and turning those thoughts into words that people can understand? When you start to look at your growth from a larger perspective and more internally, then you become a lot more content and happy with the growth that you're actually making, that you just might not see if you just base it on YouTube views and subscribers, stuff like that. So number 2, what are you good at and how can you use that to your advantage? So think about the things that you enjoy or things that represent who you are, because a lot of the times these are the things that we're good at and we're confident in. And this can be a lot of different things. It could be your beat making style. It could be your humor or just your personality in general. For example, with me, I feel like I'm really good at versatility. I feel like I can think of a vibe that I want to create and I can put that onto my DAW and create something that matches the vibe that I'm just thinking of or feeling at the moment. I've made hundreds of different tutorials of different subgenres of trap, how to make beats for tons of different artists or replicating producers and their style, and I know that I can use that to my advantage through content. So how can I use versatility and content together? Things like challenges, things like tutorials teaching you guys how to be versatile. One example of this was the making 5 genres of rap in one beat video. Over 70,000 views on this one. This one got a bunch of positive comments about the versatility and the different beats that I made. And once you find out what you're good at and a way that you can use it to your advantage, that is how you cut through the noise, especially on YouTube. All right, so number 3 is experimenting with your content. Staying in that mindset of wanting to constantly improve your videos and gaining understanding of content and how the YouTube game works is key to growth. And one way to do this is through experimentation. This could be your video ideas, the structure of your videos, the type of music or beats that you're making. And when you experiment, you want it to be calculated too. Like you don't just want to make a video on like how to make a tight beat and then your next video is like a Fortnite gameplay dropping 20 kills. Like although that would be fire, but like you don't want to do that, you know? You want to specifically look at your videos and think of aspects that you can really test. So this could be like your intro, your hooks, all types of different stuff. Just make sure that there's some organization and structure to what you're experimenting with. And really, some of my biggest and most rewarding videos have just come through experimenting with content. My most popular video, making a beat using only sound subscribers, sent me over 360,000 views. Not too long before I made that video, I was only posting tutorials. I wasn't even thinking about like including subscriber sounds or including challenges in my content. So the key here is to be open to failure. You can only truly understand what will work once you understand what won't work and why it doesn't work. You have to fail to win, and really you're not even really failing as long as you don't give up. Okay, so number 4 is value. Arguably the most important piece of your content is the value that you provide. Everything that you post should have some sort of value to it. So one way to make sure that you have this is while you're coming up with video ideas, ask yourself, what are people going to get out of this? And as a producer, you can create value through so many different ways. This could be through entertainment. People are enjoying watching your videos. This could be through teaching, so like stuff like tutorials, or even like dropping tools and different sounds for producers to use. A good example is this video. I'm teaching you guys 5 lessons that I've learned over a 6-year journey on YouTube that you can apply to yourself and your journey. And you can even do a mix of all of them. You can have entertainment, teaching, dropping tools, sounds. I kind of like to hit all of them in the videos. I like to consider myself, in fact, several thousands of women have told me that I'm a very funny person. So I like to, include some things about myself, my personality in here and there, But the main thing is to have a clear answer when you ask yourself, what are people getting out of this? And number 5, I'm here to tell you, oversaturation is a myth. You are the niche. The one thing that separates you from everybody else is you. I mean, just think about like YouTube, your brand, your business, all of it really revolves around who you are. I honestly feel like there's only really oversaturation in areas where people are just doing the same exact thing. Like things that can just be copy and pasted are where oversaturation comes in. But once you show who you are, your face, who you are, something that can't just be duplicated, that's when you become your own niche. So those certain things about you that show who you are, some things that you might want to hold back from because they might stand out too much, try to lean into those, like really embrace them and show people like, hey, like this is me, People don't connect to your video, they connect to you. So don't be afraid to show what separates you from everybody else, even though it is uncomfortable. I promise you it will pay off, especially on YouTube and making content on there. So with those 5 lessons in mind, I also want to go through some mistakes that are crucial to avoid, especially as producers. Number 1, freaking scammers. The scammers are out to get us, y'all. I mean, in case you guys don't know, I got my entire YouTube channel hacked at like 30,000 subscribers, and that happened through an email scam. This company reached out to me asking me to check out their VST and promote it, and I said, yeah, sure, let me go check that out. And then once I installed it in my computer, I woke up the next day and I saw that my YouTube channel was completely hacked. In fact, look at this. Just one day ago, Hi Lucent 100. We're launching a compact and portable breathalyzer on Amazon. Like, what the hell am I gonna do with a breathalyzer? Like, I don't know. I see this and I just think immediately scam. Just move on. Like, when the fuck am I gonna need that? Like, if I drink and drive and then I need to test myself, and that might actually be a good idea. But the main thing with scammers is that they don't have a backbone to their business a lot of the time. So if you just do a little bit of research into who they are, what their website is, you'll start to see like, oh, this is a sham or this isn't a sham. But super important to be aware of, because you can get like all of your work taken away from you just like that. Number 2 is chasing perfection with your videos. You should be constantly striving to improve your videos and the quality of them, but they don't need to be perfect to put out. For a while on YouTube, I was kind of stuck in this loop of wanting my videos to be perfect, or just like the best that they could possibly be. So like if I forgot to talk about something that I wanted to, or I made a beat and the beat just wasn't good enough, I'd scratch the whole video and I'd just start again from scratch. And that shit took up so much of my time and energy. Going back to the first lesson, remember that you should base your success on YouTube in a different perspective. Think about it from a personal growth perspective and over the long-term journey of what you've built. And then number 3, of course, I gotta talk about it, the freaking haters. If you're a producer and you're posting beats and you're getting some views, you're gonna get haters. Now, the unfortunate thing is that you can't really control this. I mean, if you wanted to, you could just like delete every hate comment, but I mean, that's just a waste of your time. The only thing that you can control is how you respond to hate. So I like to approach haters in 2 different ways. First off, what I do like 90% of the time is I just ignore it. There was a time period on YouTube when I first started getting hate where I'd see these comments and I'd be like, what the fuck is wrong with y'all? Like, why are y'all hating on me? I just genuinely didn't understand hate. I reply to their comments and I'd be like fuck you, like your 808's are out of key and you suck. And then that all just fester, and then it'd be getting in my mind. I couldn't sleep at night because I'm like, this goddamn person, like, I don't understand. So I've come to learn that the best way to deal with hate is to simply just ignore it. And then the second thing that you can do is you can think, how can I flip this hate into something positive? So an example of this was this video that I made, making a beat using only my haters' advice. Pretty much going through all the hate comments and using them as rules to make a beat. This got almost 90,000 views. And one of the biggest lessons is to know that if you're getting hate, you're doing something right. So really, don't be be stressing about it. And now I'm just gonna be answering a few of your questions that you guys have for me on YouTube. I posted this on my story yesterday. So let's see what you guys wrote. Okay, so first question, how do you keep coming up with great ideas for content? I struggle with this personally. All right, so number one is the second lesson that I talked about is just finding something that you're good at and then using that to your advantage. But here's the process of how I come about video ideas. I usually just like to open up like a Google Doc and then just write down topics that I want to talk about or topics that I want to cover. So things like versatility as a producer, sound selection, balancing music, and personal life / gym. And then once I have like topics that I want to cover, then I'll dive a little deeper into videos that could cover this. So versatility could be like how to become a versatile producer. This could be a challenge sort of video. So something like combining 2 genres into 1 beat, something like that. And pretty much once I have a topic, I'll just literally start listing a bunch of different things that just come to my brain. And once I'm done brainstorming, listing off a bunch of different things, I'll go through everything that I listed. And some of them will be awful ideas and some of them will be kind of good, maybe worth checking out. Maybe like one of them will be like, hey, like I think I could really do this. But the main point is getting those thoughts inside of your head onto paper, something that you can see. Once you see everything that's listed, I don't know what it is, but like you start to connect the dots together almost. Like I'll think of this first thing here, like how to become a versatile producer and combining 2 genres into 1 beat. Like I kind of think those are like both semi-good in a way, but then your brain kind of goes like, hey, like I like this, like teaching people how to be versatile, but I also want to combine 2 genres into 1 beat. And then you can kind of combine different ideas that you have into 1 video, or maybe you can even mix topics together. That's my personal process when it comes to video ideas. And a big part of this is just making content that you want to make too. Making content that other people might want to see can like get views, but a lot of I was doing that for a while and just like, you're just not happy with the stuff that you're making really in the end. Okay, next question, how to get girls making beats. Why the fuck you asking me, bro? Who do I look? I look like the professor with this shit? I don't know how to do that. I like to consider myself, in fact, several thousands of women have told me that I'm a very funny person. Okay, so real second question here. Is it better to start content now when my beats aren't that great, or should I wait until they're better? You should absolutely start making content now, even if your beats aren't that great. That's really what I did when I first started like posting tutorials on YouTube. And one thing that I've learned is that teaching is the best way to improve and actually learn. I started to notice that while I was making these tutorials, that there were gaps in my knowledge that I would see. Like I wanted to talk about something or I wanted to do something, but I didn't know how to do it yet. And because you're actually teaching, you'll like pick up on these gaps and you'll keep a note of them. So then what I'll do is like I'd go to YouTube and I'd figure out whatever problem or what knowledge gap I had. I'd fill it in, and then in the next video I'd have a better video where I can more clearly articulate what I'm doing or do something with the beat that I didn't know how to do previously, and I'd be teaching other people how to do that too. And that really made me learn beat making and creating videos and articulation so much better. With content, I think that you shouldn't wait until a right time to start. Like you should just start doing it and just start to figure it out and understand it as you go on. Focus, you dumb. What's your favorite color? Scarlet Johansson. And then real last question, not really a producer question, but how to overcome social anxiety overall. I know that it's common. Yes, as producers, I mean, I think a lot of producers deal with anxiety and social anxiety, myself included. I kind of been dealing with that shit a lot, especially recently. One of the best ways that I found for myself to overcome this is to do things that make me uncomfortable. I feel like with me, a lot of times I get anxiety when I'm too shelled off and too comfortable in my own space, and doing something like getting outside and talking to people and doing things like going to a club or an event or talking to girls, like that just causes like so much anxiety inside of me. I'm like, I can't do this. But really, when you start to make steps that are uncomfortable for you, then you start to open up a lot more and you start to become more social and you start to become comfortable with being uncomfortable. A lot of the times our minds are just over exaggerating and preparing for the worst case scenario of what could happen. And you know, worst case scenario, that stuff could happen too, but you never really know until you get yourself out there and you actually experience things and be uncomfortable for a bit. Just know that that anxiety that you feel like socially or with maybe creating content, getting your face out there, know that it's normal and it's overwhelming, but it also doesn't control you. You can prove a lot of the anxiety wrong if you're just willing to take the steps that lead you into being uncomfortable. But shit, that wraps it up for this video. Thank you guys again so much for 100,000 subscribers. Extremely grateful for all of you who've been watching the videos, been tapping in. If you guys did enjoy this video, feel free to subscribe, like, comment, and you can also tap in with me on my socials, ProdLucent on Instagram, and then my TikTok is right up here too. But in total, that's gonna wrap it up for me. I'll catch you guys in the next one. I'm out.